really going to sell you more business gifts than anything. Cool. So now that we have started the recording, we'll get into the actual meat and potatoes of everything. First, what I want to do is just do some like basic reminders for business gifts at the booth before getting started. I know that most of you have already got these checklists, but I think it's valuable to just kind of keep reminding ourselves of the fundamentals and having those things really internalized and ingrained. So number one is display. It's like, do you have business gift samples? As you know, try to have my entire display covered with logo engraved knives. But if nothing else, it's like, do you have a lockback that says put your logo here engraved on the handle? Do you have a Santoku knife that has an engraving on it of some kind, be it a logo or just again, put your logo here. If you don't have, logos that you want to use, or if you don't have um, or if you don't want to use the company samples, then the simple thing of the put your logo here is just beautiful because it gets people thinking and gets people envisioning their logo on that. And then the other thing to remember, just another basic fundamentals thing, is just be looking out for those logos on the hats, on the t-shirts. Just make sure that you're calling out to those people, asking what those logos are, telling them, hey, that logo would look way better on a knife. Um, and then once again, fundamentals of just asking everybody like what they do for work. Josh has his every customer, every package, every time, and so every time one of those packages is, hey, what do you do for work? So just make sure that you have that question ingrained. If not, just stick it on a post-it note on the back of your homemaker block at your booth so you can see it and just kind of have that visualization. So all right, let's talk about the pilot program. I'm going to assume that all of you have heard at least one pilot program message in your life. And so I'll kind of cover the basics of what I think the philosophy is and why it works so well. There's just certain phrases I think in the business world. There's almost like a little dialect or a language that's spoken in, you can see it from industry to industry, but I think that one of those words that works really well is the word program. And I think Curtis helped us discover that with the family program and be the Cutco kitchen program or whatever. Like the word program has been one of those things that really kind of helps synthesize things for customers and really helps it click and get them on board with something because it is a program. So they can feel comfortable and safe knowing that other people are doing this program as well. And the reason I think it's so effective is it just helps remove all of the most popular objections and it gives people like a comfortable on ramp to something that most of them want to do anyway. And so like those most popular objections are like, hey, I don't have my lists. Like I don't even, know who I'm gifting to. It's like that doesn't matter. Like we don't need to know that with the pilot program. That's okay. If you want to do personalized engravings, we can always do that after the fact. You can always send me your list when you get home. It's like I don't have the logo. Cool. We don't need that either. You can always send me the logo later if you have a couple that you want to choose from. I'll help you pick. If you don't have a logo and you need one designed, I'm, fairly good at it's not Photoshop, but kind of. I've helped customers build logos before. And so that is not even an objection. It's like I don't know how many people I'm going to gift to. We don't have our gifting list until, towards the end of the year. It's like, hey, that's totally cool. I'm sure you know that you're going to give out at least this number. It's not an actual objection. It's like, hey, I'm not ready to give them all out. Like it doesn't matter. It's like we have the 6 pay to help break up those payments. They're not going to spoil. They're not going to expire. And then you also get to, just like lock in your discount. And so uh, I find that like a lot of business owners, they just get in their head and they like to overthink things. I'm sure that you've done that. I've done that with some aspects of my business is where we just kind of procrastinate. We want everything to be perfect because just can't make up our mind about like exactly what we want to do. And so the pilot program just removes all of those most popular objections that you're going to get for those people and gives them that easy way to say yes. It's like, hey, once again, don't know what quantity you need. Cool. We just need to get like a minimum number of gifts. It's like we don't need the logo right now. We don't even need to know what special tagline you would want to engrave. And all we need is a deposit today. Deposit is another great word to use. That's another one that business owners I find that they really respond to is just put it on our deposit program. If you use deposit and program, like you might sell just like every time. It's kind of crazy. But but explaining the pilot program, I'm sure you guys kind of, once again, have heard these messages. But basically, what you want to do is you just want to, like I said, hit them with all those most popular objections up front, and then use that as the reasoning for why people are actually doing the pilot program. And so, most business owners that I see at these fairs, they're not really here to talk about business. They're here to grab a corn dog, get a beer, maybe ride the Ferris wheel. Most people, they don't come to the state fair with their list of top customers or their budget for gifting for the year or anything like that. So you may not have even made all those decisions yet for who you're giving gifts to. So Cutco has a program here to help business owners get started with their gifting and get you locked into all of our fair discounts without needing to know all the details quite yet. So what we do is we get you a minimum quantity of gifts here at the show special. We cover the cost of digitizing your logo and we get your account set up. That way we can even mix and match samples so you can try out different items and see what you like best. This locks you into our fair specials for the rest of the year. So whenever you have your full list together, we can get the rest of the gifts that you need ordered. And since your logo is already set up, it'll be super quick and easy to get them delivered. So like if you were picking a number of gifts that you know you'd use, how many do you think you would want? And just kind of like leave it hanging out there. Once again, a lot of people think that it's like the pilot program is like 10 knives. And it's not. The pilot program is however many they are comfortable starting with. And so I have said that question to customers, and a lot of people will say that like 10 to 15, maybe 30 or 50. And then I've had some customers, it's like, hey, like what's a minimum number that you know you'd use? 100, 200. And so let them pick the number that they are going to be comfortable with. The cool thing is that even if they pick one of those higher numbers, like the 100 or the 200, and then they start to hesitate once it gets to the close, you still have the flexibility to drop down to just a 10 or a 20 and have it still be a pilot program. But it gives you that easy drop down to where it's like, hey, no matter what you do, it's like we're still going to get you locked into the discount. And you can even use the incentives like it's a nice drop down where it's like, hey, if you're looking at 100, but maybe we're not ready for that, you want to do 25 right now. Since I know you're going to be ordering the 100 later on, I'm going to go ahead and give them to you at that 100 quantity discount. So we're just going to lock in your state fair special early. And so use that flexibility to drop down. Like don't be scared of those bigger numbers. If they pick a number, you can always move down and find that actual number that they are comfortable with getting right now. So it's like the same thing as whenever we do a residential sale for some customers, it's like, customers might want the ultimate, that might be their big vision, or that might be the Cutco kitchen. And like some of them might even get it like by the end of the year if you actually followed up with them. But they are ready for a homemaker right now, or they are ready for a 5-piece right now. And so like let's just get Cutco in their hands and get them using it, because like I said, the best salesman of Cutco, especially with Cutco Business Gifts, is a piece of Cutco with their logo on it in their hands that they're using. That is going to be your best advocate and help you get those orders in the future, those repeat orders. So what was Bert doing at the show in Vegas? So like I said, we were having dinner on the second night, but it was just this really like cool mastermind, and Bert was sharing his approach. It was just money. Like at the industry events, you're going to get a lot of weird looks just because you are a knife booth in the middle of like a construction show, so you kind of stick out like a sore thumb. But you have to be quick in getting people the info of why you're there, but then also letting them know that you are trying to sell them something at the show and not just demoing a product there, because most of the people there aren't there to shop. They're there to make those key connections and see all the new stuff and bring a bunch of info back to their other people. And so there's just some good verbiage that Bert was using that was getting people in the right frame of mind to actually buy at the show and have a productive and like substantive conversation about their gifting needs. And so I want to explain a little bit about what Bert was doing at the industry show, and then how I think we can kind of apply it to the stuff like the state fair, and even just like other residential events. And so when someone would like come up to the booth, you always ask, "Are you familiar with Cutco?" And so if they said no, Bert's first response was always, "Oh, okay, that's cool. What do you guys do?" And then he would get the info about their business and just kind of dig in a little bit with them and then ask, cool, do you guys ever give gifts to any of your good clients or your employees or any other key relationships in the business? Get the answer from that. It's like, cool, the reason that we're here, basically what Cutco is doing is we're like the Rolex or the Tiffany of the kitchen. We've been around for over 75 years and all the products are guaranteed forever, so they're sharpened and replaced for free if anything breaks. So what we do is we take your logo, we brand it onto the Cutco product. So that way, whenever you give it out to one of your clients or employees, or those key relationships, it becomes a dishwasher safe business card that literally lasts forever and gets used every single day. So most companies, they like to give out some kind of a gift as a thank you for those important people. The only problem is that most of the gifts are either consumable, disposable, or just not practical. So instead of giving a gift basket that will last for a few days or a gift card that might last a week, you can give something or give somebody something that is going to last for decades. So since we're here at the show, this is kind of the mecca for the kitchen and bathroom model show. So we have customers that wait all year to come out here and get their stuff. We also pay for all the expenses to be here. And so Cutco gives us some extra incentives, promotions, and discounts that we can do for customers that are shopping with us here at the event and getting started on their gifting program. And then if they give gifts, just ask what they're currently giving out. If they don't, ask if they're open to some kind of gifting program. And this was really just kind of beautiful because it let customers know like what we're doing here while also setting the expectation that we are here to sell them something. We have different show specials and promotions. And so if they're not ready to have a buying conversation, they're probably in the wrong place. And so I think we can kind of take that philosophy, and there's elements where we like already do this, but I think once again, if we can just kind of like drill down and really target it and get good at doing it every time, it's something that consistency can really bring the results. But we can start with that pre-frame and kind of start the pre-frame conversation for the customer. That way we just kind of set it up for success going forward. So let's say you have a customer that's getting a homemaker. I find out, they own a business. I want to start having a business gifting conversation. So the approach would kind of start out the same way, where once you find out they have a business, get a little bit of info on just like, hey, what they do, like how long have you guys been around? Is it, family or like regional? Like what's your position in it? All that good stuff, and just kind of get a little bit curious about them and let them talk for a little bit, and then ask. It's like, cool. Are you guys ever giving gifts to any of your clients or employees or those key relationships in the business? And so then once they answer that, you can kind of go into your little power intro for the business gifts. And um, what we do is we take your logo, your name, your information, or here, I'll start this over. So at Cutco, we believe that relationships will take you farther than marketing ever can. And also that if you take care of the family, everything else kind of takes care of itself. So we know that most companies like to give out a gift to those key relationships for appreciation and branding. The problem is that most companies are just giving out stuff that is consumable, like gift baskets and bottles of wine, or stuff that's impractical, impersonal, or short-lived. And so what we do is we take your logo and we brand it onto the Cutco product. So that way, whenever you give it out, it becomes a dishwasher safe business card that your clients will have in their home for decades to come and use every single day. So it's nice to take a client to a fancy dinner, but when you give them Cutco as a gift, you get to be part of every single family dinner for the rest of their life. Cool thing about shopping for our gifts out here at the state fair is this is the biggest event that we do in New York every single year. So customers wait all year to come to the fair to get their Cutco. And since our biggest event, Cutco is offering some special discounts, promotions, and incentives for our business owners that want to get started on their gifting here at the fair. And the great thing is we have a pilot program to help get you locked into our discounts without needing to know all the details. So you don't need to know how many you would need or what color you'd want or even have the logo that you would need engraved. So like who all do you give gifts to? And so the big goal is just to once again set it up where, hey, we have promotions here to get you started It's going to be very, very easy to get started, and we don't have to have all of this information that is immediately coming to your brain that you think you're going to need to have. And it gets you locked into those specials for the rest of the year. And so you don't have to worry. It's just taking away the stress of having to make all of the decisions now. And so, like I said, I know that I tend to procrastinate about things that need to get done, or I want things to be perfect, or I want to like be in the perfect environment to get something done, or have all my ducks in a row. And so other business owners can really just kind of be the same way. And so what we have to do is just get really good at making them comfortable, making some kind of a decision today. And so the best way to do that is just to remove all of those uncomfortable portions of the decision. And so find those things, find those objections that you're consistently getting, and see if you can work those into your pre-frame, just to kind of like set you guys up for success going forward there. So that is kind of what I got for you on the business gift side of things. And then I know Liz had also mentioned something about maybe getting people to the booth at outdoor events. So I'm happy to talk about that for a little bit, or just answer any questions that you guys might have.
Can you real quickly list again the common objections that you pre-answer for the customer and just say that again, like the list of all those things. I know one was the logo. What are
Yeah. So I find that like the biggest ones that I have is like, hey, I don't have my list of like all the customers that I want to give gifts to. This is especially if they want to like personalize them with people's names on them and stuff. It's like, hey, don't have my list. Hey, I don't have the logo on me, or access to it. I would have to get an assistant, or I'm not sure which logo I'd want to use, or we're redesigning it, blah blah blah. I don't know how many people I would do. Like I run into a lot of business owners that they're like, hey, like we finalize our list like in November or something, because then we know how much they've spent with us and who all is going to get gifts. And then the other thing is just like, hey, like not ready to get them out. I want to buy them, closer to when we're actually giving them out. Or just kind of worried about like the timing issues. So I would say those are kind of like the most popular that I have. And then basically like the don't have the list, it's like once again, that's solved by any of the don't have the list or don't know how many people. It's like cool. You don't have to worry about that, because if we want to do personalization, you can send me that list later. That's totally fine. If you just don't know how many people that you're going to have, it's like cool. I bet we have at least 10 or at least 15. So like we can go ahead and get that, but lock you into our discounts. It's like cool. I don't have the logo. Don't worry. We don't need that. It can kind of be annoying chasing people down for logos afterwards, but I will take their credit card over their logo every single time. And then yeah, like the not ready to get them out, the 6 pay, just having that option, just do it on a deposit program where it's like, hey, especially if you're doing a bigger gift order, you're not having to drop, thousands and thousands of dollars all at once. So just locking you guys in.
nice? Steph?
Yes. So I was just wondering, after you get the order, but you don't have the logo or how many, like, how do you follow up with them afterwards? Like, do you call them to get all that information? Because
Yeah,
I've,
so like once I get done like getting the order, that's the kind of or that's the part where we just kind of set expectations for like, okay, so what's the timeline and everything for getting, the rest of this info on there? It's like, cool, you guys send me the list. I'll text them, email them, call them for, stuff like that for reminders. With the logo, a lot of the time, one of the hacks that I've kind of gotten is like if they don't have a super intricate logo, if they have one that like is going to need to be your high res image, it's like get the actual file for them. But if they have a pretty simple logo, you can always just ask them. It's like, oh hey, like do you have an image of your logo I can see, just so I can kind of like see like how what it would look like on the knife, like even if it's not the one that you want to use. And if they can pull it up on like a Facebook page or an Instagram page or their website or something like that, a lot of the times that logo will be good enough, and I'll just be like, oh, actually, like that logo, like that'll actually work. Would you just like take a screenshot of that and text it to me? Like I can like totally use that file. is that. And then of course, I'll send you proofs before we actually do any engraving. So that's one little hack that I've gotten, is just kind of like ask them to see the logo, and then once they find a picture of it, if that's good enough for digitizing, if it's not super blurry and messy, then cool. Just screenshot that thing and text it to me, and we'll be good.
As Stephen, if you're doing something where you think it might be a while before you get the rest of their logo or something like that, and you have residential stuff on there, do you split it and write it on two order forms just so they don't have their like signature set or homemaker sitting?
Yeah, so a lot of times, like if I can't, or if it looks like it might be a longer process, it's like I'll split those up just to, and they're always cool about it, where it's like, hey, I'm just going to link the discounts on these orders, so it's just going to do in two separate charges, but that way you get the stuff for yourself before, so you're not waiting on all the other stuff to get engraved before that. And they're always like, oh, cool, thank you, that'll be awesome.
Do
Nice.
you
So
do you give
yes,
them like a
good note.
time frame of like when to get all the rest of the like we have to do it within the state fair or like a week from now just to kind of push them a little?
I don't really give them a time frame, but it is just like, hey, we want to, get this done as quick as possible and stuff. So it's just really kind of like staying on top of them. And then, they're like the only thing you'll have to wait for, unless the person is just kind of, hard to get a hold of, which can happen. But with those, it's um sorry, I just kind of lost my train of thought. Um, but yeah, like the people that you're trying to hunt down logos from, like I don't ever put it on like, hey, we have to get it done by this, otherwise you like lose your discount or whatever. So my goal is just to like take the stress of a timeline away from them, basically, and just be like, hey, like you're locked into our discounts for the rest of the year, but like we got you started right now. And whenever I have their credit card and have charged them, they're normally a little bit more responsive.
Cool. Other questions for Stephen on the business gift side? That was good. That was awesome.
I have a question, Stephen. So you rattled through that power intro.
Mhm.
I'm wondering if you have that scripted out, and so if you could post that into the chat box.
Here, let me post out what was scripted from my notes. Let's see here. Yep. All right, cool. Hold on, I'm gonna have to do it in phases. It's too long. Okay, here we go. That. Okay, cool. Okay, boom.
Sweet, thanks.
All righty. Anything else?
Okay, then let's we have about 10 minutes left if you want to give some tips on the outdoor booth drawing people in. That'd be awesome.
Yeah, so the outdoor booth and drawing people in, I'll give a few little tips and tricks on that. Um, Practice your outside voice. So like that is the big thing. Speak from your diaphragm, and really get loud and project, because that's going to be one of the biggest things, is just like people are not going to hear you. And then the great thing about New York is that people will hear you and then just pretend that they did not hear you. So that is a fun little wrinkle that you get more in New York than you do in the South. So yeah, but the biggest thing is to be up and attentive and calling out to people. And once again, like I talked about this at Net, but it's like striking that balance between the person who is just in the back of the booth on their phone waiting for somebody to talk to them and the Israeli guy in the skinny jeans that's trying to put cream on your face. Like just find that little middle ground where you're up, you're active, you're talking to people, you're calling out to people, and just making your booth a fun environment without being that like, oh, hawkish. It's like, oh, hey, who's your cell phone? Oh, you don't have Verizon? Oh, I could save you so much money. I bet you I could save you so much money if you'll come right back over here. I swear to God, I'm going to save you all the money in the world. You suck because you don't have Verizon. Like, don't be that guy. Like, but have that fun environment where people will want to come to the booth, like crack jokes, use all the knife puns. It's like we're cutting deals and slicing prices and do you need a knife in your life and all that stuff. But just find those little phrases that work for you. Everybody's personality is different, so some phrases are going to work better for some other people than they will for others. But the big thing is just to actually be calling out to people and making sure that people are looking at your booth. And like it doesn't always have to be sales stuff. It can just be like commenting on, a cool shirt that somebody's wearing, or if somebody got like some crazy food item, it's like asking them like, hey, where did they get that? Just starting those conversations and just like we're at the state fair. So like be in the state fair environment. It's supposed to be a fun, like interactive thing that everybody's out there together. And so like that's kind of the vibe that we want to set at our booth is where we're fun and we're having a good time and there's always good energy out there. And then I would say the other thing is just like even when it's not your turn, like kind of be up and scouting. And like those outdoor booths are crazy because that like they are just so big and there's so much space that they have as far as visibility. And so you can be calling like both people can be calling out to customers. And then if I'm there and Curtis is there and we're both calling out to customers and it's Curtis's turn and somebody comes up because like I called him over, it's like, cool, Curtis, show him what's up. It's like, but just like keeping the turns flowing out there is a very, very important thing because if you're sitting on your turn like at an outdoor booth and being super prospecty, then it can really just kind of like throw a wrinkle in the whole thing. Because the other thing about the outdoor booths is like if you do it the right way, you'll be able to get more turns than everybody else because you are going to just see such a larger quantity of people. And so you can take so many more turns and collect so many more orders at those outdoor booths if you're intentional about actually talking to people and actually like getting them over to the booth. And so those are just kind of, I would say my general tips for getting people over.
Awesome. Thank you very much.
Happy to help.